Hello, my name is Ethan Stutz. I am a recent graduate of Anderson University with a bachelor's in music education, licensed K-12, choral and instrumental, with a focus in secondary instrumental education. Today I will be talking about the three-tiered approach to classroom management. So I know that the better a classroom is managed, the better off students will be to succeed and excel, both as individuals as well as musicians. In my observations, both as a student and as a future educator, a well-organized classroom will breed positivity and trust, whereas a disorderly classroom will likely yield negativity and poor results. Looking at Tier 1, I have a breakdown of 3 items: routines and procedures, high student engagement, as well as high expectations for your students. At the start of each class, having set routines and procedures will help your students become more prepared and organized. Having students know what to expect before the class starts will minimize any confusion, and it will minimize any disruptive behavior that might go on in the classroom. The more prepared they can be, the more likely they are to learn effectively and efficiently. Secondly, high student engagement is very important, especially in the band setting. In essence, the more students are playing, the less likely they are to act up. So, constantly rehearsing different things throughout the rehearsal will not only minimize any disruptive behavior, but it will also boost students' willingness to learn, and it will increase overall ensemble involvement. The more your students are seeing each other participate, the more likely they are to participate on an individual level. Setting these high expectations for your students will not only improve their playing, but it will improve their willingness and likelihood to learn and excel at a quicker rate. In Tier 2, I have 3 aspects broken down. I have positive reinforcement, proximity control, as well as class expectations. So using positive reinforcement to help build up your students instead of breaking them down will really help build their morale, and it will help their confidence as an individual and as a musician. One way you can use positive reinforcement is through using effective questioning to engage students to think critically and also to listen critically about the music. Keeping your students engaged in this way will really not only promote their willingness to learn, but it will boost their willingness to appreciate music at a higher level. Reinforcing correct responses and correct behavior will help them understand what is important in the classroom and what is perhaps less important. So being able to put high standards at the top, of your class will really set your band classroom at a good level. In addition to this, having proximity control is, I think, a very underutilized tool, especially in the band classroom. I've noticed many conductors, many band directors will just sit or stand at their podium, and this really inhibits your ability to monitor the classroom on an effective level. Having that one vantage point at the podium will not allow you to effectively monitor the class, but having many different vantage points will allow you to not only monitor the classroom, but it will help students become more engaged. Because if they know that you're coming around, they're not going to be acting up as much as they will if you're just standing at the podium. So proximity control is very important. Lastly, setting class expectations at the start of every class period will really help your ensemble to succeed and to grow. So letting your students know what you expect out of them, both musically and behaviorally, will really, 1, increase the musicality of your ensemble, but it will also reduce any disruptive behaviors, and it will help maximize actually mature and good future building behaviors. Tier 3, I have self-monitoring strategies and goal setting to discuss. Using self-monitoring strategies will help your students to grow in maturity, and it will also help improve their musicianship. So as an educator, it's important to model how to be respectful, how to be kind, and how to be helpful through your behaviors. The more you can model these behaviors on a day-to-day basis, the more likely your students are to replicate these behaviors both to you and to their peers. Helping students build these healthy and supportive communication skills is something that will help them not only in the short term, but especially in the long term, as they grow into employees, CEOs, bosses, whatever. Lastly, setting goals, both on an individual basis as well as an ensemble basis, will help your students know that they can trust you and respect you as an educator. So knowing where each student wants to be on an individual basis, from point A to point B, or from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester, will really help them, and it will boost their confidence, both as a valued individual, but also as a musician. In addition to this, knowing where the ensemble wants to be, what their goals are, what their ambitions are, will help them to become more motivated, and it will help them to stimulate good behaviors, as I mentioned earlier. So being able to take each student and their goals, and to help foster and build those into the ensemble goals, will really breed a lot of success, and it will build positive relationships in the classroom. So in conclusion, the better I can foster mutual respect, kindness, and trust with my students, the healthier and more efficient my classroom will be on a musical and personal level. The more my students can trust me as an educator, the more willing and excited they will be to learn about music. So the healthier the learning environment, and the more positive it is, the less likely students are to be disengaged or disruptive in the classroom. So being able to, build students' positivity and to keep them excited about music will really help build positive behaviors, and it will help build behaviors that they can use in the long run. Thanks for watching.